Okay, so I'm going to be trying this for the first time ever. Welcome to Fractalians. Right now, I thought it would be a cool thing if we did a little demo of the first video that I uploaded. Hopefully, you're hearing audio if anybody's out there. Okay, so hold on one sec. I just have to get a couple things here rolling. Sorry about that. So for today, if you guys are joining me, I'm actually going to be going over the project that I did, my first project. So it's an image transfer. So you can use any image for this. I've collected a bunch of images and I'm going to show you guys what to do. And you can use either carbon paper or you can just use your pencil and actually cover the back. So let me see, I grabbed an image right here. I'm also going to be using this little bunny because I thought it was cool. And as you can see on the back, I basically just went over it with my pencil like this. You can just use any regular pencil. I'm using this nice big one because it's kind of cool. So yeah, hold on one second. Let me get a couple things in order. And let me see if this is working. Okay, right now I'm testing the audio real quick. Okay, so, okay, seems like it's working. Sorry, I just have my setup on my computer over there, and I'm gonna see if on my other computer everything was set up correctly, and it seems to be. So I'm just gonna get a couple of my notes in order. Sorry about that, it'll take 1 second. But as you can tell, it's the first time I've ever done this. I thought I had everything all lined up. And okay, so my goals for today's session is basically to just show some extra tips and tricks on this project. Hopefully, if anybody shows up, answer any questions that you guys may have, and just show you guys some techniques that I think might be fun for you guys to try at home. So again, if anybody shows up, please ask me some questions, or yeah, next time I'll probably do like a Facebook event so people can actually join me or do whatever you want. So let me get one more thing up real quick. Okay, so basically this project, I'm just going to get right into it. There's, again, the two ways you can do it is either go on the back with your pencil like that. And there's all this transfer paper is really cool. So each of these transfer papers, I'm going to just use this one to show you guys real quick. Let me get this a little bit cleaner. So I have not really fancy coloring pencils. I just went to the store and grabbed whatever I could find. Grabbed a Sharpie because I love using Sharpie. And I just want to show you guys, in case you do happen to have carbon paper, and I'll have a link in below for you guys later. The cool thing about these different colored ones is you can see in here, there's like red ones, there's green ones. The nice thing about it, let's say I've done this kind of process for paintings as well. So I've printed out my image and blown it up, and I can transfer exactly what I want onto my canvas. And let's say if your canvas happens to be dark, you don't necessarily want to transfer a dark line onto it. You can do, I'm going to show you this. I don't know if you'll be able to see very well. I'm going to actually be changing the camera a little bit so you guys can see better. So if I go over the eye right now, hold on a sec, sorry. I'm going to outline the eye and see if it shows up and see if you guys can even see it. Oh, it's a little hard to see. I'm going to change this a little bit for you guys. It actually transfers the color of this transfer paper. So let's say you had a canvas that was dark. It'd be really cool because you can actually see that yellow line and then paint over it or do whatever you want on it. Okay, so what I'm going to start out with is I'm actually going to use this little bunny here, and I'm going to place him right here. So I have this big piece of paper that I have, and I'm just going to use all the different images I have and maybe make like a little animal fun thing here. So I'm going to, I'll just start with the little bunny. And for this, the nice thing is I have a nice little table. Again, like I said in the video, if you guys, the nice thing, if you're doing it onto like a one sheet of paper and you want like to transfer, it's nice to have some kind of nice hard back surface, or you can use a magazine as well. So for the other one, I just used a regular paper. So I'm going to quickly do the little bunny, and I want to show you a cool little hack. So again, if you're just joining me or watching this video live, I'm just doing the image transfer project and trying to show you guys some other cool things you can do with it. Right now, I'm going to do this little bunny really quickly, just a little outline. And you can see I'm just going over the outlines of the bunny. So now I'm going to see the bunny transferred. And there's my little rabbit. Let me see if I can get a little closer with my camera. It might be a little bit hard to see until I start filling it in. But right now I'm going to basically all the lines of the rabbit transferred. And hopefully you can see a little bit better on there. I think for my next live, I might have a different camera setup. Right now I'm actually just using my computer. So it's not ideal, but I don't have a webcam yet. I'm just using the one built into my Mac. So I'm going to go over with my rabbit. And here's the little tail. Here's this little foot would be going in here a little bit. And I probably should have left this on there and traced the eye again, but oh well, I'm just going to draw it in myself. Okay, so one cool thing that I did ahead of time is I had this rabbit, I cut it out. So what you can do is you can lay it over this other image, and you can start doing kind of fun, weird, cool effects and layering the same image and doing like a cool pattern. So I'm going to do just that. So for this bunny, I'm going to use tape and tape this little one down here. And then I'm going to do, and this time, let's see, I'm just going to do it maybe right above it. So it's going to look like this weird, cool rabbit just kind of like popping out on top of each other. So again, I cut this out. This was just a piece of paper, another printout, and so I put it on here. So I'm going to put this I'm just trying to check my channel right now to see if this is actually working. I guess I'm starting, I rather messy, but it's just fun to see what's going on. I guess supposedly there's one person watching, but I think that's just me watching. So hi, me. Okay, so here's the rabbit I have right now, and here's my cutout. So I'm going to transfer this little guy over here, and I'm actually going to use a different color this time. I'm going to use one of these just because I want to see if you guys can see it a little bit better. And this transfer paper is really cool. So you want to put it face down, and I'm going to tape these two pieces of paper together. Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining me. I'm such a mess right now, but it's fun. Let's see. Can you hear me? I don't know. I hear in the comments. Let me say hi. Happy. Here. So right now what I'm doing is I'm showing, basically here's my carbon paper. And again, you don't need this stuff to transfer, but it is kind of cool because then it transfers whatever color's on that paper. So awesome that you can hear me. My little mic, I plugged it in, and again, you practice and you go through all this stuff, but until you're actually in the middle of it doing it live, it's kind of crazy. So I'm grabbing this image and I'm going to actually tape it together because it is kind of hard for you guys to see exactly what I'm doing. So I want the line to be darker. So I'm going to tape this down, And I'm going to show you guys the cool little effect I'm going to do. And you can do this with any image. So I'm going to place it, kind of like offset it, and then tape it down. So then you guys will see what's going to happen. So I'm going to go over it really quickly. And again, you want to push down, and I'm going to flip it up so I can see if it's transferring. Yep, I can see it. You want to push down hard enough that it transfers, but it's really easy to actually rip sometimes. So I'm going to go over the outline of the little bunny. And you can add as much or as little detail as you want. It's kind of nice to remember to add a little bit of detail. And this time I'm going to add a little detail of the bunny ear. Go over here. And again, the reason you tape it down is so you can see there's the beginning of my transfer. You can see what part you transferred over and what you forgot. So I'm going to quickly go over the bunny here, go over the body. And I'm not sure how you say your name correctly, but Petula, I believe. Do you have any questions for me or have any ideas of what you would actually do with this project? Or if there's an image that you would like to do? I actually printed out, just to show you guys, a bunch of different ones that I'm going to be showing. So my printer's kind of crap. Oh, is that right? Petula, did I say it right? Terrible. English is my second language, by the way. So sometimes when I pronounce things, it's not appropriate. I can say things great in Spanish, but English, not so great. So I just printed out a bunch of different images I thought would be cool to transfer. As you can see, my printer needs new cartridge. So I love things that have cool little patterns and designs. So I will be doing some of these. And that one I already have. This is the one from the original. And let me see where my other ones are. I have a couple other cool images on here. And I love doing things like, here's a cool bridge. I love doing architecture. A lot of times I've done this project with kids. And you basically you take a bunch of pictures of your local neighborhood and then have them transfer it. And it looks really cool. And I just like the perspective that something like this does. So, and again, these are all from the Pixabay site. And you can get super cool high-res images on there. Here's another bunny. You can tell I like bunnies from when I was little. But just images that are kind of fun to do. And here's another one that I'm going to do real quick. And all of these, here's my little collage. It's basically like you can make a giant, huge collage that then becomes a giant, fun coloring page. So anyway, thanks again for being here. And so have you tried this project, Petula? Or if you have, let me know. If you're following along, love to hear. Okay, let me finish my bunny. And I've taught art for years, but this is oh, cool. I'm glad you like bunnies. This is totally a different experience. I'm so used to having like the audience there and I walk around. So it's kind of crazy. Okay, so here's my bunny. So I'm almost done with this part and you guys can see what happens. So I'm going to take this off. So now you can see, look, double bunny. Okay, so double bunny is here. And you can see right here, I think I somehow, when I trace this, cut out this bunny ear, I think I chopped some of it off. But you can see now, you can have like these cool kind of layered effects. And again, I've done silk screening and I taught it for many years. Oh, I'm totally multitasking too, I feel. So you can just keep layering it and get all sorts of effects. So back to the silk screening. In silk screening, I do the same, basically like it's called masking. So masking an image on top of itself, and you can get these really cool kind of 3D effects going. So let's say I'm going to add the bunny I'm going to leave here for now. And another thing I like to do is you don't have to make whatever image you do look like exactly like the image you cut out. I like to like do all sorts of weird, cool things. Like you can add like this bunny, like you could create all sorts of like patterns within the bunnies. So look, you can break up the bunny to have all sorts of cool things. I'm just thinking of like when I'm drawing later, let's say you can either, again, some people are going to paint, some people are going to use Sharpies, colored markers, colored pencils. I always like to do different kind of like textures and patterns within it. It's almost like he'll be like a little, stained glass bunny. Add some cool things to experiment. And as you can see, that's kind of what I did in this image. This is the one from the original tutorial I have on the link below. So if you want to see like the step-by-step, you can watch that. But, you know, this is the original image. And here's let me show you guys again. So as you can see, I transferred basically the flowers and the butterfly, and all the rest I kind of just added. I added all these lines, all these patterns, and, you know, look at these little design elements. Here you can see a little bit better to the flower itself. So I think that's where it gets really fun, when it becomes something, you know, make it your own. That's where it gets really interesting. And this is, to me, one of the most fun creative things that you can do, and it's really simple. So let's go back here. This little bunny, maybe I'll expand upon it in a little bit, but I think I want to add one of these lotus flowers, which I think are really cool. So you like which one? That one? Which is that one? Let's see. You like this one? I wish you could do the like Zoom style. It would be really cool with students, so I could hear what you guys have to say. So right now I'm going to add, let's say, a little flower up here, or maybe I'm going to line the bottom of this. I'm going to add a little flower right here. Let's see if you guys can see it a little bit better, but then I'm out of the shot, but it's okay, as long as you guys can see. You said flowers and butterflies would be cool to zoom in on. Let's see, on this one right here. So there's a cool one right there, so you guys can see a little bit of what that end design was. So for this one right here, I think this one's really cool. So I'm going to add a little one down here. Let me see if you guys can actually see it. Maybe I'll put it up here. And again, sometimes you don't really have to tape it down, but it really does make it a lot easier. So if you don't have, let me look back here. If you don't have the transfer paper, obviously you need to go over with your pencil in the back. And for those of you who haven't seen it done, you just look at these are stuck together. I think I need a bigger table for next time. So you can just take your pencil and just go over it like that. So you can kind of see the beginning of it right there. But I'm going to actually, I like this transfer paper. I like the colors. So this one, I'm going to try a red one. It's kind of cool. Let's see what happens with that. And this whole pack, I think it was like $15 for 100 sheets. So it's kind of cool. And I'm going to tape this guy down. Oh, you always want to face the carbon side down. I've done that many times. We're all happy thinking you're transferring, and then oops, forgot to do that. So, okay, so tape it down. And this project, I think, is like, I've actually done this also. You can do murals with this. You can tape this onto a wall and transfer it onto there. And kids, again, this is one of their favorite projects I ever taught. I mean, I have a bunch of them, but this one is just so easy that anyone, especially those who say they can't draw, like you can print out like tigers and animals, all sorts of things that they particularly love. And sometimes before a class, you know, I would ask kids what their favorite stuff was, and I print out a bunch of those so they all get to pick their favorite thing. But I think flowers are always a fun one to do. So I'm going to just trace the outline. And you can add, let's say some of these have like a little bit of texture. You can add some like little lines for yourself if you want a little bit extra detail in the transfer. It's basically up to you. You're the artist. You're the one deciding what you want to transfer. I just like this because it's, you know, I love coloring book stuff as well, but this is fun because it gives you the freedom to do whatever you want, use whatever image you want, which is really cool. So I'm going over all the outline. And if on this image, which is a little hard to see for you guys, there's a little texture of this beautiful lotus. So I kind of think it's fun. And you can kind of see the stem here coming down. And with this lotus flower, I didn't actually do a cutout of it, but this one would be really cool to also do like this type of effect with. So you cut it out and you also do that. So I'm going to finish doing this. I'm going to check if everything's still good. And it seems like the audio is still working good. But let's see. Let me finish this little flower. This beautiful lotus. So, let me see. Okay. I'm just going over some of my notes. Okay. So one of the reasons this live I think is cool is eventually, hopefully, there'll be people asking questions or doing it live with me so I can help them along. But also just to make, basically I did this channel to help people and basically to get myself back into being more creative, because for so long I've been doing a lot of design and doing stuff for other people, and I think it's easy to forget to take time to do your own stuff. So it's kind of like a great way to be like, okay, time to do some art and hopefully have others join me and hopefully have them chill and relax and take a little bit of time for themselves. Because I mean, I'm a mom, I'm sure there's tons of moms out there. There's like, usually there's hardly any time for you to do these kind of fun things, but this one is a really simple one and really inexpensive, which I think is super cool. So yeah. Okay, so let's see how this flower is doing. So, whoa, look at this guy. I like that. This transfer paper rocks. So there's my little flower. So at this point, what you could do with this lotus, the same thing as I did with this image. So I think I'm going to now like expand upon it a little bit. So now this lotus flower, I'm going to make the stem a little bigger. Let me see. I don't know how actually I can zoom into this. I don't know if you can see a little more. I have like such a super ghetto like setup here. My computer is literally on a stack of books. Anyway, okay, so now is the fun part. Look at this beautiful creature that you can have to color. So I think I would do like a whole row of these babies across here, and imagine coloring that in. I mean, this whole thing is going to be a giant coloring page of awesomeness. That will give you, this is something cool that maybe your kids don't want to do this transfer part, but usually they love it because it's kind of like a magical process when you get to like lift this up. Oh, I was just reading some comment. You can lift this up and kind of see it. It's kind of like a fun, kids love always like when I've taught like that kind of fun, like, oh, what's it going to look like? What's it going to be? So for here, I mean, I love just even this red part. It's almost like I'm starting to color already with this paper. I think it needs way more of these flowers. I don't know if you guys are agreeing with me, but I think this other little flower should be here. So the fun thing is, again, you guys decide what it is that you want to do. Let me shift this down a little bit so you guys can see. And it really is pretty fast to transfer. Like once you get like know what part you want to transfer, this part's actually pretty fast. You can just, and it's fun. I love tracing it. And it really does help you learn how to draw. Like it gives you an idea of the shapes of things. A lot of times it's, especially when it's more complex image, like an animal, but then you start like just even going over the motions of drawing the shapes, I think is very helpful. But also it's also meditative, just going over the lines. Let's see how this little one's looking. Ooh, look at it. Looks pretty cool. So I'm going to add this part. So Petula, have you done live as well? I'll have to join you for your next live. It's fun. It's always great to just, feel a little more connected and kind of see what other people are doing. So, oh, now you can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to put this back down so you guys can see. So right now I'm going over this other little lotus. And I'm probably going to maybe go live another 20 minutes or so and just keep drawing and stuff and show you guys other little tips and tricks and techniques. And again, if you have questions, please ask away. Okay, let's see. So now I forgot this little part here. The one thing is when you use one paper over like for multiple images, it's hard to see what lines you've gone over. One trick is you can use like you know, a blue marker next to do your lines, because you don't have to use a pencil for this part. You can use a pen or whatever you want to use, which is really cool. Oh, cool. You're saying you have concerts. Where is it? I'm trying to read the comment here from her. You should go live this week. Tell me, and I'll be there. You do live concerts. That's awesome. What instrument do you play? That's so cool. I'm definitely going to have to see that and join you for that live session. Okay, so this one I'm almost done. Let's say here with the outline of it. But hopefully you're getting the idea of why I wanted to do this little live version of it. There's only so much you can do in like a single video and kind of show, because it's kind of a little overwhelming at first. So I try to keep that video showing this technique as simple as I could. So as you can see, there's my other lotus flower. I'm going to add this bottom part. But what I'll definitely do is, since I don't want to bore you guys and go over all the details, I'll do a little follow-up video and show you guys what I do with this crazy creation. So let me do one last little one. Maybe I'll spend another little bit playing with that bridge, and you can see how fun it is to do something like that. So here are the images. So here's that cool bridge. So maybe this bridge part I'm going to do in the middle. Oh, cool. You sing and play the guitar. That's awesome. I used to work at a teen arts center, and there was tons of concerts, touring bands. And so, yeah, and I lived with a bunch of musicians back in the day. So love music. Usually I would have music in the background, but I swear I was trying to get ready for this, and like, I realized I had nothing all together. I had some of the stuff, but then the, like, you know, custom thumbnail, all the fun things. So yeah. Okay. So here's the image. Here's the next image that I want to do. This one is, it's really fun to use like architectural elements. One thing I did do with my son was we're here near Boulder, Colorado. We did wandered around CU campus, University of Colorado campus. So you can see the bridge. And imagine what cool perspective this bridge is going to do. So for this bridge, maybe one thing that would be cool is I could have printed this like on 11 by 17 and then had a giant bridge, and that little bunny could hang out right in front of the bridge, or that bird, you know, he could totally hang out on top of that bridge. So I'm going to kind of put this giant bird on the bridge. I think that would be a fun little image. So let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to move all this junk and take my bridge. And yeah, you think you have a big space, but I'm realizing my space needs to be about 10 times bigger. So, okay, I want to make it so you guys can actually see it. Yeah, all your plans do go out the window. It's so great. I'm so glad at least I have one person here helping me along this crazy adventure. But like, you know, I don't know, whoever out there else is part of VRA, it's just got to do it. It's fun. Okay, so color. Let's see, what color of carbon paper? I think this one should be, maybe I will try blue, would be kind of cool. I think there's a blue one in here. Oh yeah, look at this awesome blue. This stuff is so cool. Oh, it's almost like a purple. I have one. My son just came in. Anyone watching? I'm like, I have one. Woohoo! Okay, so here's my blue transfer paper. And again, I'm going to tape them together. It just makes it a little better. It doesn't really matter as much if the transfer paper is taped to it, but then again, always make sure it's facing down. And now I'm going to maybe put it right here. And let's see. I think you guys can kind of see it. I'm trying to make it, eventually I would love a setup where I actually have a regular video camera and I can have the camera pointing down, which would be really cool. But right now it's really, really kind of funny how I'm set up, and I'm just hoping my computer doesn't fall off at any point. So, which it totally could. So if there's a loud bang, it's my computer fell. So, okay, I'm going to try to set it up so you guys can see it. I'm going to move this down so now you can see the bridge a little better. I don't really need to be in the shot as much. Okay, so there it is. And the same goes for anything. You can transfer whatever part you want. So I'm going to start with the post here. And in terms of like teaching you perspective drawing, it's kind of fun, like just getting to know the lines. And this isn't going to be perfect. It's, you know, I'm freehanding this, but it is kind of cool, the kind of effect sometimes you get. I'm making this more freehand, and then I'll go over it and see what happens, and you can see what elements you want to include. But usually the effect is really cool. So let's see. I'm going to go over these lines here. Just doing the basic outline and, you know, teaching kids the idea of what an outline is. I think image transfer is a great project just for that. So I'm going over all the lines here. I mean, this image alone, you could transfer the whole thing. You can go through all the trees if you want. There's a bunch of cool rocks here. So I like to pick and choose from an image, but it's totally up to you. Like the one for the project that this is kind of going into more depth about. It's that one I did use most of the elements in that image. Okay, let's see what it's looking like. It's too much fun. Woo, look at that. There's my bridge. Okay. So now you can go back and start adding the elements. So here you can totally go freestyle and just add parts of these posts here or whatever you want, but it just looks kind of cool. I like it. So here it's going all back to here, adding that. I mean, you can get super creative with this. It's almost like I use digital media. I've taught that for years too. And it's almost like Photoshop analog style, meaning you're just creating your own layered effects here. And this, I think the funnest part, I think, is if you do that masking technique. So it really becomes like Photoshop and you have layered stuff, but having all these elements separate and then connecting them with like cool, weird patterns and stuff. So even for here, I'm going to add some of these weird trees and then I'm going to extend them into the drawing. So it could be this like weird fantasy, virtual kind of magical fairyland. Okay, let's see how that bridge is looking. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, I love doing like architectural elements, or buildings are really fun, especially if you're trying to like relax, de-stress, and just like, I mean, just the transfer part is just really, I think, relaxing. And of course the coloring part, that could take you, you know, days and days, which is great. And nobody else will have this coloring poster that I'm doing. It's pretty much just for me. One project I thought could be really cool, especially for families, is you could totally take, I've done this image transfer portraits. So you can do photos of yourself, maybe black and white would be really cool. And I mean, if you know a little bit of Photoshop, or even if you have a printer, I like it black and white because then you can see the shadows and the outlines a little better. But you could do a whole mural family portrait of this. I think that would be a really super cool thing to do. And I've done projects with image transfer self-portrait, which people like, because sometimes if you have to try to do a self-portrait freehand, that could be kind of a nightmare for a lot of kids who are like, oh my God, I have to actually try to draw myself. But if you do the transfer part, it takes away that fear of not knowing how to draw and actually lets you have fun with, you know, doing a portrait of yourself. And it's almost like a cartoony version at the end of it. I should have printed out a picture. I was going to do one of my son, but didn't manage to get it in time. Okay, so back to my cool bridge, and look, there are some of the little trees. Let's go back down here. There you go. But yeah, this has definitely taught me that I need a camera. What camera do you use, Petula? Are you using, I use my iPhone for a lot of the videos. I'm always curious to see what other people are using. I've actually been documenting the whole process because I only have one video. This is technically my second video ever on here. But it's definitely like the more you play with it, the more you want. It's not that I have your iPhone. Yep, my iPhone. I have my iPhone right here, iPhone Pro Max. It's been great. But for a live like here, you actually have to have 1,000 subscribers to be able to do a live stream with your phone. So for now, I'm using my computer. Okay, let's see. Here, I think I'm almost done with this bridge part, but maybe I'm going to add some more little trees. I think that's the fun part. But the fun thing is you can get really loose and creative with this. And I think the exciting part is when you can combine different design elements together. Okay, let's see. What else do I want? I think that part's kind of done. I think it came up pretty cool. But you can see, like, I kind of like really did freehand, and some of these elements are totally there. But then you can start doing like weird things. Like here, I would just like start making like this weird, I don't know, here, you can't even see what I'm doing. So like these little elements are kind of like trigger points for me to add really cool other design elements, like just lines and patterns. And I'm just thinking about like how cool it would be to color this in later. You know, like I'm doing just weird here. I don't like this one right here that much. I kind of messed up the line there. Okay, let me go back here. So this bridge now kind of has like a weird life of its own. Like it's like a floating magical bridge. But it gives it, so now I'm like kind of making it so these flowers are popping up above it, which is kind of cool. So, and I'm going to continue the line onto the bunny. So this is where it can get really fun, especially with like, let's say you do this whole transfer part and then you give your kids the reins to be like, okay, what kind of other weird design elements do I want to add to it? So you can tell I like doing design weird stuff. But they're also really fun to color in later. So a lot of the coloring books, if you look at it, or like the Doodle, Zentangle, and that kind of stuff. Thank you for sharing too. Thank you for hanging out. I'm just going to be live for another maybe couple minutes and then show you guys a little more. But definitely keep me posted when you're going to go live, and I will love to be there. So for this, I'm going to add all these cool little other design elements. I'm always breaking this pencil here. But again, back to this, just to give you an idea of where I'm headed. Because you can see kind of like I added all these kind of fun lines, and I could have colored those in. So that's kind of what I'm doing, just giving myself, you know, connecting these images, and I don't have to use every element of it, but you can kind of make it so it looks really cool and weird. Like this is a really tall, weird bridge in the middle of this world with bunnies and giant lotuses. So it's kind of like a dreamscape. But I'm all about adding weird design elements and making it like a little, like the traditional coloring, like not traditional, a lot of the adult coloring books that you have that are really cool, I think, personally. So yeah, let's see. So breaking things up, adding extra bits. Look at these trees. Maybe these trees will have these weird, I can add some cool, weird, trippy looking roots. So yeah, so think of these as like little imagination, little nuggets that can lead to other cool things within your coloring poster, coloring page. It doesn't have to be this huge sheet of paper. I just think it can be really cool. But already this like is looking kind of dreamy and weird, like these weird bunnies. I don't know what they're doing, but they're kind of fun here in the distance. I'm probably going to add more bunnies, go in the distance, maybe add, ooh, I know what I'm going to do for the last bit. I love this bird. It could be up here. I think I'm going to do a little post for him. Maybe like this post can become bigger or something. I don't know. Add some more stuff down here. I think that's a good spot for that bird. And then after I'm tracing the bird, I think I'll call it a day for my first little stream. Yes, Bridge to Terabithia, totally. That's one of my favorite books. I remember reading that book as a kid. It's definitely one of those magical books. And that's totally why when I saw this image, that made me think of it. As a kid, we used to go, I grew up in Marin County, and we used to go hiking a lot. And there was just this really cool place we used to go and hike. And there wasn't necessarily, there was like these bridges. It wasn't like this, but it was like these little plank boards that I'm glad none of us died, walking over back in the 80s when, basically it was like Stranger Things land for us. We would just wander around the woods, but we'd go over these bridges that were like super about to kind of fall apart to go to these awesome tree swings and just go have fun there. So for this last little bit, I'm going to, let's say, I think this bird should be a different color. I think it's nice to mix it up. Maybe I'll go back to, let's see. I don't want it to be black. That's kind of, maybe he'll be, yellow's going to be a little hard to see. I think I'll make him green like the bunny. I just like these colors. it really makes it pop and you guys can kind of see it a little bit better. Let's try blue. Yeah, let's do blue. Oh, where's my paper? I'm glad you guys can't see what's going on where it's kind of messy. Okay, so this beautiful blue. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm just going to take it off the bus because you can reuse it, which is really cool. So let's grab the blue. And you can kind of see, it's kind of cool. You can kind of see the outline of where it transferred from the bridge. That in and of itself is almost like a cool art project. I don't know. I think that's really cool. So I'm going to tape it together because it just makes it a little bit easier. And I'm going to add my bird. And then I'll probably have a fun project to work on for the rest of the night. And then I'll probably do a follow-up live video to show you guys what I did. And hopefully one of you guys will do this project. I've seen a lot of people saying they're kind of interested in doing it. It would be fun because it really is like super fun once you do it, especially if you choose an image that you like. And Pixabay is cool. It has so much cool stuff. And I've used a bunch of images from my own camera, and I love to go outside and get inspiration from nature and get, let me bring this guy down, move this, and just take pictures. I'm always going on lots of mountain bike rides, and I always have my phone with me. So here's Mr. Bird, trying to bring this piece of paper closer to me so you guys can see it a little bit better. But without getting, oh my God, my computer is about to fall. So here's a little bird, if you guys can see it. Oh God, that looks pretty bad. Okay, let's see. Let's move the light. I have this little tiny ring light. Hopefully you guys can see it a little better. And now the sun is giving us rays of light. Let me adjust the. It's kind of like blinding me now. Let me adjust this a little bit. If I don't fall with the computer. Ah. Okay. Okay, there. Yeah. There. Okay. So the last little bit, let's do this bird real quickly and then call it a day. And then I'm just going to have something fun to do all night. And I love computers. I'm always creating on it. I've taught Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop. I'm learning more of Premiere. It's super awesome and powerful just, to edit these videos. But my first video took me a long time to get out. I don't know if that was your experience, Petula. But yeah, it's amazing how much you want to make it perfect, but it's just best to just get it out there and just have fun and share it. And it's fun, especially the community on YouTube, just to learn from each other. I think it's awesome, and to help each other. And I think it's a fun way to stay creative, and just, just give yourself some time to create some cool stuff. Like, I probably wouldn't have even thought of doing this if I was like, okay, what project should I do first for this little video? Okay, let's see how he's looking. Ooh, look at the bird. Can you see him kind of a little bit, maybe? Okay. But I love the colors of this bird. So it's a little bit hard, I'm sure, for you guys to look at and see from up there. But beautiful blues. And I'm trying to get as much detail transferred because there's so many cool textures in the feathers. But it's going to be fun. Like, this is one of those images that I actually would try to replicate because the colors on it are so beautiful. And it would be I think it would be really fun to actually do this on canvas, which I've done in the past for my own paintings. Oh, cool. You're editing. I'm just reading the comments right here. You're editing a video to post, hopefully. Oh, cool. I'll look for that video. Awesome. Can't wait. Yeah, it's amazing how long editing. I also edit and do stuff for my regular work, but it's so different when it's for your own stuff. It's a little bit harder, I think, because you're like, oh, what about this, that, and all those cool little intros and effects and all that cool stuff. So, okay, I think Mr. Bird, look at him. Ooh, well, let me see. Oop. Let's see if you can see him a little better. Let me bring him up so you guys can take a look at him. There he is. He looks pretty cool. Look at that weird thing we just created out of these transfer paper. You can imagine what weirdness I'm gonna do tonight. I don't know. But that bird is pretty cool, I think. And look how beautiful the colors are. And again, this is a really bad printout. My printer was pretty much dying, but actually I think it turned out pretty cool. It gives it a nice effect. So yeah, but I think I'm going to call it my first session. I think that's a good little place to begin. I'm going to, again, keep playing with this for the night and then do another follow-up live of where this went. It'll probably be way shorter than this video. But you're awesome, Petula. You've been moral support, and thank you so much for watching. And everyone else who's joined in and seen my little experiment of a first live video, I hope you also get to create some cool stuff and get inspired to do something and see how easy it is. And I do recommend this transfer paper, this carbon paper stuff's really cool. But again, that pencil covering the back is just as easy, but these colors, it just makes it really fun and easy because it's almost like you're coloring already. It adds like another element of awesomeness. Cool. Well, thank you, and have a great, let me get, this thing's so weird. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of your night, and thanks for watching. Bye.